My father raised his champagne glass at Thanksgiving dinner and said, to Gwen, my safety net, and everyone laughed like it was the sweetest thing they'd ever heard. I smiled and sipped my wine while mentally calculating that I'd just paid his November assisted living bill 3 days ago for $1,200, same as every month for the past 6 years. What I didn't know was that in 48 hours, my cousin would accidentally add me to a family group chat, and I would discover that I wasn't a safety net, I was a mark. Drop a comment and let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. I'd love to know who's part of our community. My name is Gwen. I'm 43 years old. I'm an aerospace engineer at a defense contractor outside of Seattle, which means I design guidance systems for missiles and spend my days thinking about trajectories, fuel efficiency, and precision. My job is about cold, hard math. Variables. Absolutes. There's no room for emotion when you're calculating whether $1 million piece of equipment will hit its target or explode on the launch pad. I've built my entire career on being precise, methodical, and reliable. Apparently, my family noticed. My father, Robert, is 71. 6 years ago, he had a stroke. Not severe, but enough that he couldn't live alone anymore. My mother had passed away 8 years before that, and my father never remarried. He was alone, scared, and suddenly very dependent. My older brother, Kevin, lived in Phoenix and had 3 kids in college. My younger sister, Mallory, was finding herself in Portland and worked part-time at a yoga studio. That left me single. Successful. Childless. Available. The conversation happened over the phone. My father's voice was shaky, vulnerable. Gwen, honey, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't afford one of those nice places. Medicare doesn't cover much. And my pension, it's just not enough. I did what I always do. I run the numbers, I researched. Facilities. I found Evergreen Heights, a beautiful assisted living community in Bellevue with 24-hour care, physical therapy, social activities, and private rooms. I'll take care of it, I said, and I did. For 6 years, every single month, automatic transfer, for $1,200 withdrawn from my checking account. On the first of every month like clockwork. I never missed a payment. I never complained. I visited once a week, brought him his favorite turkey sandwiches from the deli he loved, and sat with him while he told me the same stories about his Navy days over and over again. $1 for $1,200 a month. 12 months a year. 6 years. That's $302,000 for $100. I knew the number. Of course I knew the number. I'm an engineer. I track data. But I never thought about it as a burden. It was just what you do. You take care of family. You don't keep score. At least, that's what I thought. Thanksgiving this year was at my brother Kevin's house in Phoenix. I flew in Wednesday night. Rented a car and showed up Thursday morning with 2 pumpkin pies and a bottle of wine. The house was chaos. Kevin's 3 kids now graduated, and back home for the holiday my sister Mallory with her new boyfriend, who wore a man bun and talked about chakras, my Aunt Linda, my Uncle Jean. And my cousins scattered across the living room. My father was holding court in the recliner. Looking healthier than he had in years. Evergreen Heights was good for him. The physical therapy, the social activities, the routine, it had given him a new lease on life. During dinner, Kevin stood up to make a toast. I just want to say how grateful I am that we're all here together. Family is everything. Everyone murmured in agreement. Then my father stood up, a little unsteady, and raised his own glass. I want to add something. I want to thank Gwen. He looked at me, his eyes getting misty. You've been my safety net. I don't know what I would have done without you. The table erupted in warm sounds. AWW. That's so sweet. You're such a good daughter, Gwen. I smiled. I clinked glasses. I felt a warm glow that I told myself was love and appreciation. But safety net. The phrase stuck with me. It felt transactional, like I wasn't a daughter, I was a financial instrument. I flew home Friday evening. Saturday morning, I was in my kitchen drinking coffee when my phone buzzed. A notification. You've been added to Managing Gwen. I stared at the screen. Managing Gwen. I opened the group chat. There were 9 people in it: my brother Kevin, my sister Mallory, my aunt Linda, my uncle Gene, my 2 cousins, and my father's financial advisor, a man named Howard I'd met exactly once. And there were 87 messages. I scrolled to the top. The first message was from 3 months ago. Kevin, Dad's asking for money for a new TV. Should we float it to Gwen or wait until after her bonus? Mallory, wait. She's more generous after bonus season. She feels guilty if she has extra money and we don't. Aunt Linda, that's smart. Also, don't mention the TV. Say it's for medication. She never questions medication. I felt my coffee cup grow cold in my hand. I kept scrolling. Kevin, I need to borrow $5,000 for Jenna's car. Should I ask Gwen directly or have Dad do it? Uncle Gene, have Dad do it. She won't say no to him. Kevin, good call. Mallory, make sure he sounds stressed. She panics when he sounds stressed. I scrolled faster. Cousin Lisa, is Gwen still paying for Dad's place? Kevin, yeah, for $1,200 a month, every month. Like clockwork. Mallory, Jesus, that's over $300,000 at this point. Kevin, I know, it's insane. But she'll never stop. She's desperate to be needed. Aunt Linda, we should ask her to cover Dad's dental work next month. His insurance doesn't cover implants. Howard, financial advisor, I wouldn't push too hard. She's smart. If she figures out we're coordinating, she'll shut it down. Kevin, she won't figure it out. She's too busy trying to be the perfect daughter. I stopped scrolling. My hands were shaking. Not from sadness, not from hurt, from a cold, crystalline rage that felt like nitrogen in my veins. They had a group chat. They had a strategy. They had been coordinating how to extract money from me for months, maybe longer. I wasn't a safety net. I was a resource they were mining. I looked at the most recent message. It was from yesterday. Mallory, Thanksgiving toast was perfect. Did you see her face? She ate it up. Kevin, Dad played it perfectly. My safety net. She's locked in for another year. I set my phone down. I walked to my window and looked out at the Seattle skyline. The rain was coming down in sheets. I stood there for 20 minutes, not thinking, just calculating. Running scenarios. Assessing variables. Then I picked up my phone. I opened my contacts. I scrolled to Evergreen Heights Assisted Living. It was 7:15 a.m. on Saturday. I called anyway. A woman answered. Evergreen Heights, this is Sharon. Hi Sharon, this is Gwen Alvarez. I'm the financial guarantor for Robert Alvarez in Unit 237. Oh yes, Ms. Alvarez, is everything okay? I need to inform you that I'm withdrawing my financial responsibility for my father's care. Effective immediately, there was a pause. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I'm withdrawing financial responsibility. Per the residency agreement, I'm required to give 30 days' notice. Consider this my official notice. My final payment will be December 1st. After that, Financial responsibility reverts to the resident, Ms. Alvarez. Let me transfer you to our billing department. This is highly unusual. I've read the contract, Sharon. It's all legal. 30 days. Transfer me if you need to, but the decision is final. I was transferred. I repeated the same information to the billing manager. She tried to talk me out of it. She asked if there had been a problem with care. She suggested a payment plan. I remained calm, clinical, factual. 30 days. Final payment December 1st. No negotiation. I hung up at 7:34 a.m. Then I sat down at my kitchen table and I did what I do best. I engineered a solution. I opened my laptop. I opened the Managing Gwen group chat on my desktop. I took screenshots. Every message. All 87 of them. I saved them to a folder titled Evidence. Then I opened a new document and I started typing. Subject: Clarification on financial support. I wrote for an hour. It was precise. It was factual. It was devastating. At 9:00 a.m., I sent the email to every person in the Managing Gwen chat. Plus a few extended family members who hadn't been in the loop. I attached the screenshots. The email read to Kevin, Mallory, Aunt Linda, Uncle Gene, Cousin Lisa, Cousin Mike, Howard, and others. Ray, clarification on financial support for Robert Alvarez. I am writing to inform you of a change in the financial arrangement for our father's care at Evergreen Heights Assisted Living. As of this morning, I have formally withdrawn my role as financial guarantor. My final payment will be processed on December 1st, after that date. Responsibility for the $4,200 monthly payment will revert to Robert Alvarez or another designated family member. I want to be clear about why I'm making this decision. Yesterday, I was accidentally added to a group chat titled Managing Gwen. I have attached screenshots of all 87 messages. For those who haven't seen them, I'll summarize. For months, possibly years, several members of this family have been coordinating strategies to extract money from me. You've discussed the best times to ask after bonus season. The best methods having Dad ask instead of asking directly. And the best emotional manipulation tactics making Dad sound stressed, claiming medical needs. You've referred to me as desperate to be needed and too busy trying to be the perfect daughter to notice what you are doing. I am an aerospace engineer. My job is to identify system failures and design solutions. I have identified the failure. Here is the solution, effective immediately. 1. I am withdrawing all financial support for Robert Alvarez's assisted living care. 2. I am removing myself from all shared financial accounts, subscriptions, or services I have been paying for on behalf of any family member. 3. I will not be available for emergency loans, co-signing arrangements, or other financial requests. 4. I will not be attending family gatherings where my value is measured solely by my bank account. For those of you who coordinated this effort, I want you to understand something. I didn't stop helping because I can't afford it. I stopped because you turned my generosity into a game. You didn't see a daughter or a sister. You saw a mark. To my father, you called me your safety net. You were right. But safety nets are designed to catch people who fall accidentally. They're not meant to catch people who jump repeatedly because they know someone will break their fall. The net is gone. I suggest you learn to fly. Gwen Alvarez. I hit send at 9:47 a.m. Then I turned off my phone. The fallout was nuclear. I didn't see it happen in real time because my phone was off, but I learned about it later. The emails started coming in within minutes. Angry emails, defensive emails, panicked emails. Kevin, this is insane. You can't just abandon Dad. We'll figure something out. But you can't just walk away. Mallory, you're being dramatic. It was just a group chat. We didn't mean anything by it. Aunt Linda, I'm ashamed of you. Family takes care of family. But the best one, the one that validated everything, came from my father. It arrived at 11:23 a.m., and I only saw it when I turned my phone back on Sunday morning. Dad, Gwen, please call me. The facility says you've withdrawn support. This is a misunderstanding. I'm sure we can work this out. I never meant to hurt you. You're my daughter. Please. Notice what's missing. An apology. An acknowledgement. Just panic. Just damage control. I didn't call him back. Instead, I called Evergreen Heights on Monday morning and spoke to the billing manager. I want to confirm that my withdrawal of financial responsibility has been processed. Yes, Ms. Alvarez. We've notified Mr. Alvarez that he has until December 31st to make alternative arrangements, and if he can't, then we'll have to ask him to vacate. We can provide referrals to more affordable facilities. I hung up. I didn't feel guilty. I felt efficient. 3 days later, Kevin called me. I let it go to voicemail. He left a message, Gwen, we need to talk. Dad's freaking out. Mallory and we can't cover for $1,200 a month. We have our own families. You know that. We're trying to figure out a payment plan with the facility, but they're not budging. Can you please just? Can we meet? Can we fix this? I didn't call him back. A week later, my sister Mallory showed up at my apartment. I saw her through the doorbell camera. She looked tired. She looked scared. She rang the bell 6 times. I didn't answer. She left a note under the door. Gwen, I'm sorry. We didn't mean for it to be like that. It was just. We were venting. You know how families are. Please. Dad's going to have to move to a state facility. You know what those places are like. Please call me. I read the note. I threw it away. Here's what they didn't understand. I wasn't punishing them out of spite. I was reallocating resources. I'm an engineer. When a system fails, you don't pour more resources into it. You redesign or you shut it down. I shut it down. By mid-December, I heard through a distant cousin that my father had been moved to a Medicare-covered facility in Tacoma. It wasn't Evergreen Heights. It wasn't private rooms and chef-prepared meals. It was institutional. It was what he could actually afford. Kevin and Mallory tried to split the cost of keeping him at Evergreen. They lasted 2 months before they couldn't sustain it. Turns out $2,100 each per month is a lot harder to manage when it's your own money. I didn't go to Christmas. I didn't go to New Year's. I sent a card to my father at his new address. Inside, I wrote, wishing you well. Gwen, it's been for months now. I haven't spoken to my father, my siblings, or most of my extended family. I've received a few emails from relatives I barely know, asking me to reconsider, telling me I'm being selfish, reminding me that family is forever. I don't respond. Instead, I've been doing something I haven't done in years. I've been spending my money on myself. I took a trip to New Zealand. I'm renovating my kitchen. I joined a climbing gym. I'm learning to make pottery. I bought a $3,000 espresso machine because I wanted one, not because someone needed me to fix their crisis. This morning, I made myself a cappuccino. The creamer was perfect. I sat on my balcony overlooking Puget Sound and watched the ferries cross the water. The sun was rising, the air was cold, the coffee was hot. And for the first time in 6 years, I didn't check my bank account to make sure the automatic payment had processed. Because there is no automatic payment. There is no safety net. There is just me and the sound of the water and the kind of peace that only comes when you finally stop catching people who were never really falling, they were just jumping. Because they knew you'd always be there. I close my eyes, I think about trajectories, about precision, about hitting your target. For 6 years, I aimed at the wrong target. I thought I was helping my father. I thought I was being a good daughter, but I was just funding a system designed to exploit me. I've recalculated, I've adjusted my trajectory. And this time, I am aiming at something better, a life where my value isn't measured by my ability to pay other people's bills. The coffee's still hot, the morning is quiet. The math finally adds up, and I'm not a safety net anymore, I'm just Gwen.